everyone. So I think today we're just going to mess around with sphere, some kaleidoscope in the Grasshopper menu, and lunchbox and weaver bird. So let's just jump right into Grasshopper. Type in Grasshopper here. Okay, let's just type in sphere. And okay, from here we're going to go to our lunchbox tab. Use the quads for the subdivisions here. And we'll just type in 15, duplicate that down, the U, the V, here we go. Awesome. And we'll zoom into our divided out sphere. And from here, what I'm going to do is type in random split list. I'm going to duplicate it out so we have 3 different lists here. I have to flatten it, and we'll need to deconstruct the B rep, just like that. Go to the face. Okay. But from here, what I want to do is start to move these out randomly from the actual sphere. So to do that, I'm going to just type in volume. And we'll go all the way back to the sphere here. And that'll give us a centroid in which it can move. We'll type in vector 2 point. That'll be the first point that we need. And then we'll type in area for the face of each one of these B reps, or the faces. And before that, let's see if we can join all the faces that are randomly split first. So we'll get some kind of weird kind of pattern starting to formate. Okay, duplicate that down a 3rd time. This list will be the most. Okay, so what we need to do for the first one is just plug it into area. We'll need to have an amplitude plug. So from here to here. Okay. This centroid will go into the vector 2 point. This will be our vector for our move. Let's just type in move. And we're going to move each one of these faces with this vector. Let's just start off with 1 for the first one. Excellent. So we're getting it to look pretty, it's going to look pretty random. And then once we start to mesh it, I think we'll start to smooth it out. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this a little bit more organized here. Okay, and then from here, let's do the same thing. Actually, instead of plugging twice in, I'm just going to copy and paste this down. Then all we have to do is plug it into the next list. All right. All right, so this one's getting a little bit weird, but that's fine. We're going to turn it down here. We'll turn this one down quite a bit. And we'll turn this one down quite a bit. Awesome. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to go over to the weaver bird tab. We're going to add a little bit of thickness to each one of these. Okay, and we need it to be a mesh, so we can type in mesh B rep. Just like that. We could plug it in probably for all of them, won't matter. Okay, and it's going outwards, so I'm going to type in negative, and we'll give it a value. Type in 1 for now, see how far it gets us. That looks pretty good. Okay. Then from here, what I want to do is do another random split list. Flatten that out again. And we'll do a mesh join. Just like that. We'll do the same for down here. Let's make sure it's flattened, so for each one. So if we bake that out, what's that starting to look like? Does it look random enough? Yeah, for the most part. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just type in Catmull Clark. Smooth each one of these out. Not that Catmull. Let's use this one. Smooth them out just a bit. And we'll type in smooth mesh. We can keep the same iterations. So let's do 1 for the strength, and then we'll do 11 for iterations. Plug that into here and here. Copy and paste that up, plug it into our mesh. We can hide all this stuff. Alright, so now if we were to bake this out, we might have to mess with the numbers just a hair. There we go, we're starting to get kind of the reaction I kind of want. What I might do, let's add some more. Make it just a bit more dense. And hide all this stuff as well so we can see what we're working with. Okay, let's increase the depth on our Weaver Bird thicken for the mesh. Awesome. What's that look like baked? It's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. And then let's add some kind of layering happening in here. So I'm going to type in scale. And we're going to scale each one of these out. Okay. In a series. Start off with 1. Scale it out 5 times. And we'll scale it 0.25. There we go. And then, so they're not all looking the same, let's rotate them. Degrees, we can copy and paste the series over. Right from there. Let's give it a different rotation. Let's do 35 maybe. I'm gonna hide this. So they're all kind of rotating. There we go. So that looks pretty cool. I'm gonna lower the depth of that Weaver Bird thickening. Let's bring that down just a bit. I want to get some kind of breathing room in there, otherwise it gets a little bit too much. Let's do this a few more times. Awesome. There we go. That's looking pretty cool. And the next thing, just to add even more complexity to this, if we go over to the Transform tab and Array, there's Kaleidoscope. So this will be the geometry, and then we need to give it a point. So X, Y, Z is creation of the point. All right, and then I'm going to type in 3 for now. Plug it into the X and the Y. So that might be a little bit too high. Bring that in just a hair. And then if we bake that out, there we go. I have to bring it out a little bit more. We probably correct before. Pretty good. Pretty trippy. And then might type in bounding box just to add even more complexity. And let's type in rotate. Actually, we reuse the rotate that we had. Go over to here. We'll type in list length. Is that not showing up? List length, yep. Plug it into here. That'll be our new count. And we'll rotate this geometry onto itself. And we need to type in volume to give it the centroid to each one of these. There we go. We can hide all this. And this should start to add a lot of complexity. There we go. Kind of looks like a sea creature or some sort of flowers. Looks pretty good. I might increase the number. I'm going to unplug this series for the 1. So we'll just disconnect that, and they're all kind of rotating. Bake that out. That's what we're looking for. That's pretty good. One thing I might do is smooth it even more. So I'm going to turn down the depth again for the thicken. Let's do like 0.5. That might be a little bit too small. Let's just do 1. And too big. Let's do 0.75, meet in the middle. That way we won't overpower the actual rendering with too much mesh happening. So that looks much better. Kind of want to sprawl these out a little bit more. So we'll go back to our point that we created with the gyroscope, or the kaleidoscope. Okay. Bake it out one more time. I think that's what we're looking for. Let's try it back at 1 more time on the thicken. Try that out. That's looking pretty good. And then I think that's pretty much it for the grasshopper portion. So I'm just gonna kind of randomly click around here. Actually, no. Let's use random split list. Save ourselves some time. And then we'll reuse a couple of these mesh joins. Then we don't have to do it by hand. What I want to do is assign 2 different materials to this. One potentially being kind of a leaf layer, and the other being something else. We're going to flatten this out. Now we have 2 different meshes there. Perfect. I think we're all set for making a landscape of this. That's cool. One thing I might do is just shrink it in the Z direction just a bit. Then I'm going to rotate it up. Alright, bring it up. Awesome. So we can assign 2 different layers to here. Let's just do concrete for the first. And then let's do stainless, maybe wood. And then I'm noticing this one isn't necessarily mixed all that much, so we might want to hide it in our landscape. Oop, rotate even more. Awesome. That's looking pretty good. What's it look like rendered again? Pretty neat. I'm going to just scale it out just a bit more. It's awesome. All right, let's build a landscape for this. So, as usual, type in bounding box in Rhino. Take the bottom portion of this. And what landscape should we do for this? The view's definitely this way. Let's type in rebuild for the surface. Let's bring it out really far. Let's make a pathway through the center void. I'm just going to lock down that layer really quick. Okay, and let's turn our points on. Let's go to our select tab, do the brush. I'm going to go to plan view for once. Try to plan this out a little bit better than usual. We'll make kind of a green strip that goes through here. Something like this. Okay. Just kind of draw kind of random stuff through here. Let's increase our brush size here. Just like so. Do the same for here. Alright. What I'm going to do is just pull this all up so it's going through our model. Okay. And then I'm going to turn the points on one more time. We're going to smooth this out in the long run, so I'm just going to pick through here because I want it to be kind of a hill going through this. So I'm going to pull that up. Let's type in smooth. Okay, let's smooth it out quite a bit. Awesome. I'm going to drag that in the Z direction. Let's smooth it out one more time. And I'm going to undo. Let's turn our points on one more time. Let's select through here one more time. Pull it up. Smooth. There we go. I might do it one more time. Drag that up. Perfect. This will be our grass layer. Then let's add in another plane. We'll just drag that up. Let's make it sand for now. I don't know if we'll do water or not. And then I'm just going to scale the entire landscape down. This will hopefully help the load time in Illumion. Okay, we're going to make sure that hill's right in the center of our model. We'll pull it up. So it's kind of just a semicircle. Something like that I think is going to do. And what I might do is just rotate our grass layer so it looks like we're kind of walking uphill. Just like that. And I think we're going to unlock everything, and we should be all set for Lumion. Alright, so we have it imported. Let's get to some materials real quick. We'll start off the grass here. I think this shot's going to have to be really wide. The landscape, we didn't make it too crazy big, so we're going to have to really bring out the lens quite a bit. And let's do some sort of soil through here. Which we use? I don't know about that. Is a swamp work, maybe? What else is there? I want something with ever motion just because it has the displacement. This has too many footprints in there. And let's go dark, maybe. And we can mess with that later. Alright, and for this, which has less in perspective there, why don't we see if it doesn't take too long. Like this leaves. Perfect. Might get a little heavy in the rendering, but should look pretty cool. Otherwise we could do some sort of metal if it takes too much. It's kind of bogging down the computer, so I might just change it to a metal for now, and then we could play with it after we get some trees and stuff in the scene. For now. Oops, did we change both of those? Yes, we did. Not good. Indoor. Do something like that just for now. Okay, let's start placing some trees. Trees, not there. What should we do? Broadleaf. I wonder if they got some. Oh, let's see here. I want to do some conifers. These look pretty cool. And we'll just kind of paint them in. Let's get some low-lying plants in here. Bring up the density on our paint here. Try that again. Maybe get some holly trees in there as well. Make it kind of dense. And then, I suppose we should add kind of some timber. I wonder if we do dead trees along the side here. Low density. Okay, try the same over here. Maybe a couple with some, so not just all straight up and down. Zoom in just a hair. That should look pretty cool. Might delete out a few just in our foreground area here. Which one was it? That one. Let's get some on the ground. Low density. Same for over here. A couple different variations potentially. These ones look a little bit bigger, which is better. And let's just do some kind of grassy parts throughout here so it's not just totally dead. Probably bring up the density quite a bit on that one. Do the same for over here. Some new growth is happening. That's looking pretty good. All right. And let's add a person kind of walking into the scene here. Let's see. That's a kid just running. Out the focal length, like I said, quite a ways, just because we don't have the real estate on our landscape. That was kind of a mistake, but I think it's going to work out just fine. Get the grass in there a little bit more. Okay, we'll save that camera. Realistic. Let's change the real skies out. Let's do something a little bit kind of dramatic looking. We'll change the heading so we get some light happening in here. It's looking pretty good. I think we need some different variations of color happening. Let's add a sun. Way too high for that. There we go. Change it around so we get the right angle. That's a pretty good first pass. I want to add just a few little plants kind of sprinkled through here, and then the plants in the background, they seem fine, but just around the edges it looks a little bit too harsh, so I might either increase the grass height, which could help it, or add more plants. So let's go back to our materials. So yeah, it's just not spreading out. So we'll increase the height and the grass size. The grass size might be a little bit too big. What happens if we do the opposite? Doesn't match up with the kid all that much. That seems all right. And let's just do a couple plants everywhere. To our grass layer. That's a little bit too green. That's a different color altogether. Well, we'll just see if we can do it this way. We could probably paint it. No, we'll have to do something else there. And we'll manually do it. Might look a little bit more realistic anyway. Get it all through here. Let's get it over here as well. Up in here. Do the same for the other side. Keeps kind of circling around here. And we'll get it through here as well. This part we could probably paint in for sure. nodes maybe too. Let's do a cluster of them. Bring them up. Move them over just a hair. All right, let's go to our rendering. Go back to our view. That's looking pretty good. I wonder if we sprawl out the camera just even further. That might be a little bit too much. Get the entry centered. That's looking pretty good. Bring the camera up just a bit more. Yeah, I'm liking it. We'll save that view. What I want to do is just maybe we'll bring down the sun height just a bit more. Let's see what it looks like without real skies in effect. That's a little bit dark. So I'm going to go back to our sun. See if we can get some better sunlight hopping on here. Maybe we'll bring that up actually. It doesn't look as dramatic. This is actually better. Yeah, I kind of like that. All right. What's it look like with real skies again? That's looking pretty good. I want to add some fog coming in. We'll do weather. Fog. No real point in having real skies then. Oh, maybe there's. Turn that back on. Okay, let's move that fog back just a bit. Awesome. That's looking really good. And one little, let's just play with the materials one more time. Let's get a little bit more density on the swamp area. Let's turn the displacement up. Okay, we're going to scale the map up. And then let's try the leaves one more time. If it doesn't take too long to render off. Let's see what that starts to look like. The leaves might come in a little bit dark. Maybe we'll just change which type of leaves. I do like this a lot more. We haven't done something green in quite a while, so let's go back. Maybe we'll change it to those red leaves potentially. Leaf type. I can't tell with the sunlight settings. Let's do combo of these. You know, I kind of like the green better. Let's go back to that. Materials. That's the brightest. These. I believe that would be it. That is looking pretty good. I might make this kind of a rainy scene rather than just adding fog. it'll start to add kind of highlights and reflections to stuff. And then I'm going to mess with the sun one more time just to give it a little bit more brightness, so we can actually see what we're looking at. Bring that up. So you can start to see that the water's, you know, really nicely reflecting everything. And then I wonder if we kind of go bold, or that the leaves look fine, but I wonder if that white's not working out for the actual scene. Maybe it's the time of day too. Maybe we'll flip-flop the materials out one more time. This will be the leaves. Okay, let's go back to the various. Change this over to leaves. Let's go with these maybe. They're a little bit brighter than the actual wood. Let's change that out for now. Let's do gold maybe. Hit okay. Okay. Now it's really overpowered. Let's redo that. Sorry. Getting picky. It's looking good. That's why. Gotta think about it that way. If we make that leaf spread smaller. There we go. I might change this back to kind of a white tile. There we go. I'm going to bring up the glossiness of this. And I think this will be it. Let's do a practice run. Oh shoot, hit the wrong command there. We don't want panorama. Go back to here. That's looking pretty good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the render button once this updates, and we'll hit desktop. That's good. 80. Save. Let it render off, and I think we'll be all set for Photoshop. Alright, so we're here in Photoshop, and one thing I might do is just hit Control-J just to duplicate the layer out. I'm going to do an auto tone and auto color, see if that improves the scene at all. I don't think it does necessarily. Auto color definitely doesn't. I kind of like it a little bit more gloomy, so I'm just going to go up to Image, Adjustments. Let's go to Brightness Contrast. I'm going to brighten it up just a bit, get kind of that neon green look and feel. We're going to use our Burn and Dodge tool. Just brighten up some areas, get some of those golds out of the water coming through. Just kind of add some punches of kind of bright lights through here. Or bright, kind of contrasty with the green happening. And just maybe kind of lighten up the sky just a hair. Get through here, get it a little bit brighter. Okay, punch up the guy in the foreground there. Awesome. I think this is all set and ready to go. We'll do a little vignetting as usual. Use our brush tool, zoom out, go at the bottom, go at the top. The top's going to be, we're going to need some landscape there, so I'm just going to use free transform tool. Control T for a shortcut. We'll take our eraser, kind of go through here, just like that, and we'll just flatten it out, and we are all set. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment, show yourself on Instagram, and please subscribe. And we'll be talking soon.